Have you ever thought that someone did a crime so bad that they deserve the death penalty? Well, through my research and consideration, I have decided that the death penalty is the inaccurate way to deal with these crimes. Some people would say that the death penalty costs more money for people to stay in jail instead of being executed, I guess. And they say that these people are deserving of the death penalty. So in this speech, we will be going over the history of the death penalty, why the death penalty should be abolished, and the alternatives for the death penalty, and what you can do to help abolish the death penalty. So the death penalty was first seen in the 18th century from King Hammurabi of Babylon. He was the first known king to have a death penalty. There was a lot of ancient civilizations that used the death penalty as a penalty for these crimes. These included drowning, burning, and beating. And then moving into 1608 was the first recorded colonial death penalty by Captain George Kendall. He was executed for espionage. And then in 1608, most of these crimes, or if you were death penalized, it was because you committed murder, treason, or you were trading with the Native Americans. In the 1790s and through the 1900s, a lot of states started to take out the death penalty after the American Revolution, and even states like Pennsylvania started to just move death penalty executions away from the public view, so they weren't publicized anymore. In these years, the death penalty rates went up by 167 per year. Now, why should the death penalty be abolished? First of all, the death penalty is just is a violation of a basic human right, which is the right to live. And if someone were to commit a crime and they were death penalized and they were innocent, then that could be the death penalty is irreversible and you can't go back on it. And this is also really hard emotionally on families and friends, because especially if someone was innocent. The death penalty also people say that it costs more for them to live in prison for their lives, but it's actually not. The death penalty costs about $2 million, including all of the sentences and all the court hearings and things. And even to keep these criminals are usually more high security, so they need a lot more. It costs a lot more to keep them incarcerated than a usual inmate would. Now let's look into the alternatives of the death penalty. So the alternative would be life in prison, usually with no parole. They could be without parole, but this basically just means that they will not get out and they won't have a chance to get out. But some things that you can do to help abolish death penalties in the U.S. is use your social media platform. Social media is a big part of the world today, and it spreads a lot of attention to issues. Another thing, if you wanted to take a bigger step, you could contact your elected officials so that they can vote against the death penalty and abolish it in your state. And you can also join different organizations that support abolishing the death penalty, and you can either donate or volunteer your time to these organizations. All right, now let's go over what we've learned about the death penalty. So first we learned about the history of the death penalty, and then we learned why we should abolish the death penalty in the United States. And then we went over the alternatives and the things that you can do to help end the death penalty. Thank you.